tell stories.
When did you first meet?
I know, hold on a minute. True story. When we first meet, we met at the Capitol Center, when it used to be called the Capitol Center. Now it's a hole in the ground, but and he said, I had this guitar I made for Peter Frampton, and it was kind of a Cherry Summers mahogany guitar, and he looks at it, he goes, looks like a piece of candy. And I went, huh?
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. And so basically that was it. And I said to the guitar tech at the time, he said, doesn't want to play it? And he says, I don't know, I'll go check. So he goes in the back of the tuning room, and the guy says, yeah, come on back. So I go back, and I hand him the guitar, and he starts to play it, and he goes, you play? And I went, ah, and I backed up against the wall, frightened out of my mind. He looks at the guitar, he plays it some more, he looks at the guitar, he goes, you play, let's play. At which point I was no meter, no chords, no sense of God, nothing. It was just horrible. He goes, let's not play anymore, let's go watch Return to Forever. So we walked up on the stage and stood behind Al Di Meolo's amplifier on the Return to Forever tour, and he didn't order a guitar that time. That's the first time we met. The second time we met is a long story, buy the book and you can read it. He's checked that it's the right story, but basically that's the answer to the question. That's the first time we met. I don't think you remember the first time, but I think you remember the second time we met.
In those days I was pretty straight, so I don't remember anything when I was straight.
So what did you think of this long-haired, skinny hippie who was begging you to play his guitar?
Well, you know, I was really amazed of the passion that I saw in his eyes. He reminded me of the little kid in the cartoons with Foghorn Leghorn, you know, this little kid was a wizard, big old glasses, but he can make, he's like Hawkins and Einstein, you know, and I said, this guy's brilliant, I know, but I could see and feel by the tone of his voice that there was a lot of passion, that somehow he would position himself with his vision to be right there with the Strats and the Les Pauls. I had a feeling that he would be in a place where, well, you know, all those guitars are number one to guitar players. You know, there's not like A1 because it's subjective. And I'll give you an example. If you ask Jimi Hendrix if he was here, who's your favorite guitar player? He'd say, Buddy Guy. You know, hands down. And if you ask Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's your favorite guitar player? You say Albert King, you know. And if you ask Albert King, he'd probably say it was him, you know. So what I'm saying is subjective, you know. I mean, in God's world, and I'll say it like this so you can understand it. God created the world round so we can all have center stage. In other words, to God, everybody's number one. He doesn't see, like, you know, we humans with our ego, we make, like, you know, big and, you know. But anyway, when I first hooked up with Paul, I immediately got inspired by his passion to create something with his hands and with his vision and with his heart that would resonate with my heart till the day I died now, because I've been to the place where he makes them, and what impressed me the most was people from all walks of life, you know, mohawk hairs and rings and sweet tie and hippies and everything, you know, and they all put this, he's like Leonard Bernstein, you know, and the people who make the guitars, they're like the symphony. And I feel really grateful and very honored that God put me in Paul Week's path, because as you can tell, passion for integrity and quality of service is very contagious, and it should be, because it inspires you to be the best that you can be as well. So let's give Paul a nice hand.